I was wondering if you could just run through some of the films you made, features and shorts, but features probably, but just give us an idea of the sort of storylines and whether you wrote the story, what do you normally go for?
Well, I normally nowadays go for features because there's more time to tell a story, basically. You don't have to rush yourself necessarily. But I've done a couple of shorts. The first thing I directed was called Adult Contacts, which is the classic two people talking in a room. I did that after the Panico workshop, there was the momentum and there were lots of people interested in helping me out. I would say lots, actually. I mean, enough people that it could happen, basically. So that was shot in a basement in Notting Hill. After that, it took me 6 years before I actually did my next short, which was called Ad Astra. That's about colonisation off-world and about all the poor people who are left behind who have to eat each other. Basically, yeah, that was shot in 2001. Then in 2004 I made with Kevin Crooked Features, which is a comedy. That's about a pornographer who's making a Hollywood blockbuster called Attack of the Clowns. After that, in 2009, I made the original soundtrack as part of the 2-week film challenge, and that is basically about a deaf guy who wants to commit suicide. After that, or was it the same year? Was The Fix 2009 or was that later? I can't remember. Anyway, after that, using the 2-week film methodology, which is basically common to making Crooked Features as well, because Crooked Features were made in 10 days. We made The Fix, so that's shot within 2 weeks. It took about a year to finish, though, in the edit suite, and we took the post-production a bit more seriously. After The Fix,
what's The Fix about?
Oh, the Fix is about a global intelligence commando who is against the system, and he's kind of caught in a reality TV system, and basically there's a golem on the loose that he's hunting, and it's basically a story about him hunting her, catching her, and chaining her up in a garage. After The Fix, must have been 2011, we did Gain, which is a kind of experimental Ghostbusters film. So it's about paranormal investigators in Portsmouth, and about how they're kind of charlatans, and they get in deeper than they expected, but it also peels away at the reality of filmmaking towards the end, and again fairly experimental in nature. And then after Gain, there's a documentary which isn't finished yet, but hopefully by the time you see this it will be finished.
Give us an elevator pitch for a couple of those.
Of a couple of what?
Sell them to me.
Sell what to
you? Why should I watch them? Why should I watch The Fix, for instance?
Well, why do you have to do anything in life? I mean, you don't have to do anything, do you? But you choose to, so why should you choose to watch The Fix? You should choose to watch The Fix to educate yourself about the cocoon that you've put yourself into since the day you were born.
What about give us an elevator pitch for Gain?
Gain. Yeah. I mean, if you're interested in the paranormal and the blurring of what's real and what's supernatural, then I think you'll get a lot out of Gain, because even as you watch it, you'll become a part of it as you realise that you are watching events unfold which may or may not be real, which like the supernatural may or may not be real.
And why should I watch one of your films over the latest Hollywood blockbuster? I've got 2 hours to kill or 3 hours to kill. Why should I choose to watch one of your films than the latest Hollywood blockbuster? What would you watch?
Again, why should you do anything? Why should you choose?
I'm going to choose.
Why should you choose to watch one of my films? Because you may learn something or you may spark a thought that you thought previously inconceivable.
Which won't happen with a blockbuster.
Generally speaking, no.
What about like a Danish art movie?
Well, the thing with Danish art movies is they're not renowned mindfuck movies. I'm struggling to think of the last Danish movie I watched.
Well, you said about Headhunters earlier on, being possibly your favourite film.
Actually, yeah, okay, yeah, but that's what I like about Headhunters is it just seems so. It seems like it could happen. It seems very bumblingly real. What was the question?
I can't even remember. Originally, I was asking you to give me an elevator pitch for some of your movies.
Oh, an elevator pitch.
But I can't remember where we went from. Oh, it was why should I watch one of your films rather than? You got no reason. There is no reason. I guess.
Well, why'd you get out of bed?
I guess what I was asking is, you don't come across as super enthusiastic about. You're not giving it the hard sell, but you did say you're not a salesman.
That's right.
But it's difficult when.
I mean, ultimately, everything ends and everything dies, and what's going to last longer, The Fix or Transformers 4? And we won't know that until 2095.